Hey there, fourth graders. It's Orion with the Snake River Fun. We're thrilled to be a part of this year's Wildlife Expo hosted by Teton County Weed and Pest. At the Snake River Fun, we pride ourselves on protecting the Snake River and promoting the responsible use of waters in and around Jackson Hole. Today, Jared and I are just off of Fall Creek Road, a few miles outside of Wilson Center, and we are here celebrating the largest rodent in North America, the beaver. So take a walk with us. We're going to go explore around here, see what we can find. We'll talk a little bit about the anatomy of the beaver, beaver behaviors, the place of the beaver in North American history, and just how the beaver affects the landscape around it by engineering its surroundings. All right, gang, what I have here is a beaver skull. What's the first thing you notice when you look at this skull? The teeth, right? So, like all rodents, beavers never stop growing, and neither do their teeth. So that's one of the reasons that they chew down trees. It helps keep their teeth in check. Now, it's a common misconception that beavers eat wood. In fact, they feed upon leaves, twigs, and a thin membrane of tissue just under the bark of deciduous trees called the vascular cambium. It acts as a highway for nutrients and water for the plant, and beavers love to eat it. All right, let's take a closer look at this beaver pelt I have here. If I hold it up for you guys, you can get an idea just how large the North American beaver can get. In fact, a fully grown beaver can easily be up to 60 pounds. Check out this fur here, gang. If you were to draw a square 1 inch by 1 inch by 1 inch by 1 inch, you could have up to 80,000 hairs in that square inch. Humans, for example, have about 2,000 hairs per square inch. This beautiful, thick fur is one of the reasons that pioneers first came out to places like Jackson Hole. The fur trade was really popular. Things like hats and clothing used beaver pelts, and in fact, beavers in the mid-19th century were almost hunted to extinction. As we walk around today and take a look at beaver structures and just how they alter the landscape, think about how places around Jackson Hole might look a little bit different if beavers weren't around today. Beavers are what's known as a keystone species. That means that they play a critical role in maintaining an ecological community. Without a keystone species, an ecological community can look totally different or even sometimes not exist at all. Behind me here is a great example of a beaver dam. Just look at how amazing they are at engineering the landscape around them. Besides humans, beavers are the only animals that build dams like the one you see here. Beavers are also nocturnal, so most of the building of these dams is going to happen at night. They'll fell trees, weave sticks together, and add mud to help with the waterproofing of the dam.
As you can see, the dam acts as a barrier to moving water and creates a pond. For the beavers, the pond means protection from predators like coyotes, wolves, and bears. And in the cold winter months, when vegetation is hard to come by, the waters behind the dam provide an opportunity for the beavers to store their food. Beaver ponds stimulate the growth of species of plants that are critical to populations of migrating songbirds and waterfowl. The thriving vegetation you can see in this shot is also an important source of nutrients for many members of the ecological community, like moose and bears. The ponds associated with beaver dams can also provide nurseries for salmon and trout. These ponds are often deep enough to help juvenile fish hide from predatory wading birds. The ponds trap nutrients which help feed juvenile fish, and the slow waters allow young fish to use energy for growing big and strong rather than fighting swift-moving currents. Dams also act as a filter for suspended sediment, which helps keep water clear. This is beneficial for all salmonids. Beaver ponds and the wetlands they create are instrumental in improving water quality. Aside from removing sediments, pollutants like nitrogen, phosphates, carbon, and silicates that may have entered the water due to irresponsible agricultural practices are filtered out by beaver dams. Lodges like the ones you see in this shot offer shelter and protection from predators. In the fall, beavers will cover the lodge with fresh mud, which then freezes solid and prevents intruders from going in for a midwinter snack. Big lodges can house up to 10 beavers at a time. The entrances to active lodges are typically under the surface of the water.
Beavers truly are remarkable engineers. Next time you're in or around the waterways of Jackson Hole, be sure to look for beaver activity and just how that activity is affecting the ecosystem as a whole. Again, this is Orion from the Snake River Fund. Thanks so much for joining us. We hope to see you next fall for the 5th grade floats.